we're a city. Okay. Well, I guess I better start building some city walls then. This is Foundation, and I am Lord Bara. Now, technically, I wouldn't call this a city. In the United Kingdom, there are very strict rules about being able to call yourself a city. You can only achieve that title if you have a cathedral. Capybara does not have a cathedral. We barely have a church. The least I can do is build some walls. As you can see, there's a lot going on today. Prospecting, delighted visitors. Yes, we have an ongoing fair and everything seems to be going swimmingly. I'm not worried about placing out the stone walls because, as we all know, I have copious amounts of stone. No pun intended. But stone is certainly not one of Capybara's worries. Hopefully I can get round to actually building the manor fort here. I really want to get on with that and start the main missions of the castle monument. But I'm going to need a provisioner before I start those, so I'll build him now. And just so you are aware, I'm not going to build him as part of the manor fort monument over there. I'm going to build it as part of the fort monument that's in the town. And the reason for that is all of the soldiers that are going to be recruited and then used to do missions are part of this fort here. Just in case you weren't aware, if you build two separate forts that aren't associated with each other, which is possible, you can build multiples of monuments and they aren't linked in any way. So any soldiers that I recruit into this fort monument won't be able to be used by the other fort monument. So if I did build a kitchen in the other monument, the soldiers here wouldn't be able to get access to it. I'm still in the process of building out this whole area to make it look more like it's combined with the fort, and I like this asset here. It looks townsy, it's really nice. Okay, we're all planned, everything's under control. Let's have a time lapse. Wait a minute. Something's not right here. What's going on? It's not building. What's the problem? No tools. I still don't have any iron ore. Damn it. Damn that stone. It has been the bane of my existence since I've started Capybara. I'm going to have to sort it out, aren't I? I just simply can't progress until I've got more iron ore. Look here. 0 tools, 0 iron ore. I've got iron and I've got tools, weapons. I'm using it all on weapons to make money. I could pause that, but no. It's time. I need to focus. I'm building a mining settlement just up at the top of the hill here. So let's bite the bullet and do it. First thing I need to do is remove all of these trees. And look, I've already purchased the territory and earmarked those trees for being cut down, but that's going to take an age. So what I'm going to do is just remove the trees with the resource removal brush. Thanks, Sir Pelendor, I forgot that existed. While the trees are being removed before our very eyes, I just want to give an honourable mention and a shout out to Lord Paul Tanker, who is the most prolific commenter on my videos and one of the first subs that I had, so thank you very much for your continued support. So I've removed some trees and I've built an iron deposit. Got some villagers working in there to speed things along, but that won't do. They're miles away from the town. They're going to need somewhere to live, something to eat. That's right, I've got to build a little mining settlement up here. So I really enjoy making these little isolated villages. They can turn out really quite cute and really quite lovely. And you kind of get to flex a little bit on them, I think, because you've got to be efficient. You've absolutely got to know what you're doing when it comes to production chains. You have to satisfy every single need that the villagers require in order to limit, if not completely negate, them having to travel to the main town. All except the transporters, that is, because they obviously need to transfer goods between where the production buildings are and where you're getting your raw resources from. So it's a challenge for sure to be able to meet all of those needs in an isolated area, but also do it in a very efficient and kind of compact and dense way. At least that's how I see it. Now, all of the villagers that will live here will be serfs. Serfs only require 2 types of food, 1 essential, 1 additional. I can fulfill the essential need by having a berry picker here, but I'm going to need to transport in something else, bread or meat probably. But as long as I keep the hamlets small, they shouldn't run out of refined foods that is stocked by the market trader. In order to prevent this from sprawling and sprawling, I want to have the houses densified as well. And we've got this added gameplay loop now where we have to give them some fortification and patrol. So that's a little bit of added complexity, but it's okay because I like the manor house anyway. I would naturally want to put a little bit of manor here anyway, because along the King's Road in the UK we have these things dotted all over the place. They're called coach houses, and if you keep your eyes peeled, you will see as you go along what we call A roads here that at regular intervals there are large houses, look like manor houses, and they would have been used as coach houses for travellers going between towns or staying overnight somewhere for them to eat and rest their horses and change horses and things like that. You usually find them either at the bottom or at the top of a hill, actually. Shout out to anybody who lives in an old coach house, lucky you. They're often quite beautiful buildings. But back on track, because I have to build a place for the patrollers and the watchmen to work out of anyway, a manor house here makes complete sense. And I'll think of it and treat it as a kind of coach house. The other thing that they're going to need here in this small modular hamlet is a church, a place of worship. This is going to be tiny, as small as I can make it. If I add up the amount of people that will probably work here, it'll be 6, 12, 18, maybe 24 villagers working this entire area. You've got market traders, you've got all the miners, you've got a berry picker, you've got the patroller and the watchman themselves, and a priest that will need to be in the church. So it should end up being around 24, hopefully not more. So the minimum for a church is 24, which is ideal, really. I don't know whether the game developers thought about that, but it works out very well. And I love using the church tower, the bell tower, as a centerpiece rather than attach it to the church itself. Also, because this is just like a small worship building, really, it's the bell tower is for more auspicious occasions like weddings and things like that. For me though, I need a centerpiece, something central to an area to make it, to show that that's the center. And I've always used these bell towers to do that. I think it makes it pop, I think it makes it stand out and look kind of special, and it makes it make sense. It kind of ties it all together visually for me. On that note, I'm also going to fence in the area to make it feel like it actually belongs there. Not too bad. I think I can improve on things just a little though. I don't like where the watchtower is placed. If I'm honest, I really am struggling a little bit to try to get those buildings to blend in with the builds. They're great gameplay, that I stand by that. I think they are needed and good addition to the gameplay. I think the protection mechanic is great. I think the game developers have worked exceedingly hard in order to make that mechanic make sense and blend in with the rest of the gameplay. If I'm going to give an honest criticism, I would say that they haven't nailed it, but clearly it's a very difficult one to get right. And I'm not going to criticize them on it. It's fair to say they've done a good job. I nearly put a watchman down. I wanted him to go there on the outside of the town, but it's too far. I nearly put him there, but no, I decided in the end I don't like it. And there we have it, a small modular hamlet to support mining operations. We've got iron, we've got gold, we've also got marble. Pretty well set up there, to be honest. As usual, this is kind of a first pass for me. I'll come back at a later date and put some decorations in and make it look a bit fancier, but I'm happy with it as it is right now, and it's going to serve its purpose, which is to get me more iron. Feel free to sound off in the comments. I usually like to name these little hamlets. I don't know what I would call this, but feel free to give me some suggestions in the comments. I'm happy to indulge. Or how about these for some suggestions? What about stony top or stone end? Stone edge? It can't be rock bottom because it's at the top of the hill. Anyway, you get my point. Something like that. Meanwhile, back in the town, I forgot to put a chimney on the kitchen for the fort, so that hasn't been doing anything. I didn't meet its minimum requirements and it wasn't functioning. So I just need to stick a chimney on that. And what I'm going to do in the town centre now is densify this housing. What I'm going to do is I'm going to select some heavy fortification assets from the fort. I'm going to dot them around the town, try to blend it in and make it look like it's part of the walls, the infrastructure of the town. I want it to have a townsy feel, so I don't want to have elements of the fort kind of sticking out or making themselves more of a presence. You see, there's already an area that I've marked out for the fort to sit in, and I don't want it spilling out into the rest of the town and overbearing the rest of the town. But I'm going to need the heavy fortifications dotted around so that the houses meet the requirements to upgrade to the highest tier density. Some of you may be asking yourself the question, why isn't the stone wall on the outside of the town doing that job and just densifying the entire town? Well, the reason for that is that I've left gaps in the stone wall. So the stone wall itself isn't creating that internal area where everything meets that high density requirement. And that is on purpose, obviously. I don't want the whole town to be densified in that way. I just want areas of it to be densified in that way. But I also like the look and want the look of the stone wall, so if I leave gaps in it, then I can have both. It'll look fortified and it won't force all of the houses to upgrade. It's a challenge, I think, a new challenge, the new meta of the housing gameplay, which is absolutely a core element of Foundation, is to manage and control where the houses spawn and also how they upgrade. And as you can see here, the houses on the outside near the fort pieces have already upgraded. The ones that are just behind the tavern there, they're too far away, and so they need some additional help. And this asset from the castle monument works perfectly. It's got that townsy feel to it with the wooden structure on top, but it's also elevating the area where the higher density houses are going to be with that kind of stone foundation to it. Lovely. Here's a little job I need to do. Now that I've set up the mining of gold and marble, I need to just check if I'm buying or selling them. No, okay, so gold. I'm going to sell gold and I'm going to sell marble. And I'm going to keep a stock of 50 in the town for no other reason than I'll just like to have a little bit of stock. I will start using it at some point, but right now I could sell all of it, but I'm going to keep a little bit of it in stock. And I need to find a place. Oh, perfect. So I can easily put some in stock here in the warehouse in town. That is a little bit of a trek for the transporters, but if I add a couple more guys in there, I should be fine. Plus, I'm not relying on that for income, it's just additional income. And also, I will need the marble and the gold transported into the town anyway, so it doesn't hurt. I also noticed while I was in there that I needed another cloth maker, so I'm going to just put him down here on the end. And that's neat because it continues this line of production buildings that will link this area of the town to the other area of the town. Okay, this is all coming along as I envisioned. This is going to be the core area, this square here, which is, in fact, both of those, there's kind of two sides to this housing area. So I want the other side that's also next to the fort to densify as well. But I don't need the housing right now. It would be a bit overkill. I'm going to end up with immense amounts of housing space available in the town, which is fine. It means that I can grow however I see fit. But honestly, right now, I don't have enough production going on to necessitate more housing. I just want it to upgrade. And if I get ahead of that curve, then I don't need to worry about housing in the future. I'll never have to worry about it again. I'm actually really looking forward to coming through and doing a detail pass on this. Those of you who have watched previous videos of mine will know that my style of my building style is to go through and do various levels of detail passes. So my first one is just sketching, very much like you would if you were a painter. Kind of come through, sketch the idea out, and then I start building on it, and then down the line I will add in layers of detail on top. And that's when my PC crashes, usually, because it can't take it anymore. Too many assets, I give up and die. I'm going to admit now that I'm not very good at doing the military campaigns. I often forget that they are even there, because I focus so much on the building of the town aspect. But it's an entire gameplay loop unto itself, and it is pretty cool actually when you delve into it, and you get some nice rewards. I don't know how viable it is to survive on these as rewards though. I don't know if anybody's experienced that, or anybody has a play style which is different to mine, where they go down the military route and then they actually make money out of it and then build their town off the spoils of war, if you like. But that's not how I do it, and I don't know how realistic it is to actually play like that. Let's get these soldiers off doing something though, shall we? The Bara troopers can go off on a skirmish. The Whiskered Blades can go off and do a garrison gig. And the Barracudas can do the Beast Begone. I don't actually need any of these rewards, but I do want them all to upgrade, because I haven't as yet got to the end of any of the campaigns, so it's as much a mystery as it is to you as it is to me, and I am excited to see what rewards I will get. Oh, and just in case, don't put any spoilers in the comments. I want that to be a surprise. I like surprises. Look at this manuscript for tools. It's as if they knew. I'm making my own tools now. I don't need your help. Manuscripts are to the monastery that as rations are to the castle, and they take a long time to make, so I'm not trading them. Look, my population now is at 233. That's quite decent. Most medieval towns, bearing in mind, were around 300 population, so it's getting up there. But you'll notice they're all serfs. I haven't done a single promotion. Serfs, militiamen, and novices. Novices are monks and nuns, in case you didn't know. And I'm starting to feel that some promotions are on the horizon. That's really going to change the productivity and the feel of the town. It'll start to become gentrified. Anyway, that's all I've got time for today, I'm afraid. I hope that was mildly entertaining. But I'll just say, if you have been, thanks for watching, thanks for listening. If you have been, please leave a like. This has been Foundation, and I have been Lord Bara.